Hello, race fans, and a warm ERN welcome to another night of 2026B Infinity Graphic Design Dev Series action tonight from the Monster Mile in Dover, Delaware. I'm Mc Intosh, joined as always by my partner in crime, Cameron Rich, Carlos Acosta on the controls, and 2026A champion and graduate Gavin Higgins doing the race control duties for us this season. And if you missed the action last time out in Michigan, Johnny Thomas punched his ticket to victory lane, but also with that, obviously the win system. Once a driver reaches a certain amount of wins, they bump out of the Dev Series. They can't come here anymore. So Johnny has one last chance to try to fight for this championship. Have to see if he is here tonight and if he is going to be fast enough to challenge. And somebody else who took a big stride so far has been Jaden Racimus, and he was a driver to watch last week out in Michigan, and I think he's going to continue to do that. We've seen him take huge strides, not only just in ARCA, but in all the other series. So I think he's going to be a contender. And Cam, I mean, we've seen Dover a lot, and Miles the Monster has known to raise a little chaos and put drivers in some bad situations. So what do you think these guys are going to have to look out for tonight?
Oh man, Dover is one of my favorite tracks. It's one of the cereal bowls of the sport. And you definitely get that kind of feeling when you race around this track. 1 mile long, the high banking all the way around. It's a self-cleaning racetrack. If anything happens, it tends to slide its way down the racetrack and cause its own kind of bunch of problems. But we haven't been here since 2024. So last time we were at this racetrack, it was Leighton Norgard who was the winner. Of course, he's not in the race tonight. So we are going to have a new winner. And see, there's our point standings. And, with a race, with only one race under our belt, that basically is the results of last week's race at Michigan. Johnny Thomas, he is not going to be here tonight. So it's going to be pretty much all to fight for. But, tough little track here. They're going to have their work cut out from them tonight.
Lots of tire saving, lots of dirty airs. We see Bryce Fody is your pole winner. Pete Morales will start second. Lining up third and fourth, Dylan Javier in the 57 for Lake Norman, with Jonathan Oates in the number 73 in P4. P5, Scott Rankin in a Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine looking Mustang. That's pretty cool. James Watson in the Gentleman Ned throwback starts sixth. Seventh for Randy Yoakum tonight in the 08 machine, with Matthew Blackley in the 01 rolling off eighth. Row 5 is Nick Silver in the number 09 and Aiden Morris in the 55.
Yep, seeing some new names here tonight, so good to see that. Position number 11 is going to be Jacob Adams next to Pierce Hausler in the 61. Lucky 13th tonight is Cale Pocock next to Daniel Lemon in the 97. Saw him have a horrible crash in practice, so I hope he's okay for the race tonight, figuratively speaking. Kurt Gibson and Mark Rabiles, they make up row number 8 here, 15th and 16th. Andrew Hardcastle, Jaden Racimus, we talked about him a little bit. He's going to have his work cut out for him to get through this field. Then Curtis Cochran and Frank Fody, that's row number 10.
Row 11 features Andrew Witt, and I believe that is the 57 and the 02 of Scotty Larson. That's 2 of Scotty Larson, sorry. A couple of drivers returning. Austin and Abnett in that number 60 machine, 23rd. Samuel Malone in the number 46, 24th. 25th for Dalton Hayes, and 26th for our own Dave Huckleberry in that number 52 Purdue machine. 27th for Emmett Wilhite in the number 34. Josh Osborne rolls off 28th in that 07 Mission Toyota. 29th for Dominic Wright, and Sam Boutwell rolls off P30.
31st, David Westergreen in the number 9. He's going to have a bunch of cars pass in that other South Shore Racing car. Next to Christopher James, another new driver in the series. Rob Mooney and Harrison Talion. That's going to be your 17th row here. Then Nigel Stott, Carlos Acosta. He's not in a car. He is actually here in the booth. You see, look at that sexy face right there. Connor Thompson Gardner, 37th. And Blake Wise there in 38th. And we'll have PJ Jackson here in 39th. Should be getting going green here in just a moment.
Pace truck pulls off. Field is in the hands of Bryce Fody. He takes the pole. Pete Morales on his outside. So these cars work through turns 3 and 4 into the restart zone. Green flag is out. We're green in the Dover 125. Huge checkup on the inside. Jacob Adams not able to get going. Pocock has to shuffle. Pete Morales is able to get a good hold. Maintains the outside for the minute. Have to see which lane's going to be dominant tonight. Connor Thompson Gardner with a black flag. They're 3 wide for third behind them. Able to hold on. Nothing crazy. Still 3 wide. Pete Morales fighting on the outside of Bryce Fody for the lead. Not quite going to be able to get clear. Bryce is going to have a charge. They're going to make contact. Bryce gets tight. Morales almost into the wall, but he's able to maintain, and he leads lap 1.
Yeah, strong move around the outside, and we're going to see these lanes like move out here tonight. Track's going to widen out just a little bit. We have a lot of 3 wide and a lot of shuffling throughout the pack. That was quite the disjointed restart, Ty. I saw back in the pack there was people on the apron. There was 3 wide, kind of big checkups kind of everywhere through the field. But somehow we've made it 2 laps here, almost 3 green laps. See fast lap Pete Morales. Of course, he is the leader, so you would expect that. He has all the clean air on that machine, but a fast number 80 behind him trying to track him out and do something. But you can see starting to sting a lot here, about 3, 4, 5 cars deep. Lots of beating and banging further on in the pack, but you know, around here at the Dover Motor Speedway, the fastest way is a single file. So you're going to want to see you're going to see these cars kind of try to get that way as quick as possible. But we're about to have a battle for the lead, Ty. The 80 has pretty much caught the 95.
Absolutely, and a lot of these guys, I think that whole restart started on that 3rd row. We saw Jacob Adams have a little bit of a struggle. Everybody was fine. I was kind of expecting us to have a pretty big wreck going towards 1, but everybody maintains. We're single file out for the most part of the top 10. Honestly, probably all the way back towards the 20 range back there, but these guys getting on it. Pete Morales taking advantage of that pretty good restart he had. Bryce Fody actually going to get into the wall a little bit. It's going to bring teammate Dylan Javier a little bit closer to these two. As we're already looking at Oates, he, I think, is right now currently the biggest mover. Let's get a look at that. Nope, he actually started 4th. He's still 4th, so I lied. But everybody kind of just biding their time right now, which is kind of what I expected to see. Dover's not horrible on tire wear, but it being concrete, it's a little bit of a struggle to try to keep the tires happy on these ARCA cars. As we got somebody making a peeking out move back there. I believe that is who is that? New names here, folks. So we're trying to get a hold on that. They're talking about reviewing the start. That is Kurt Gibson, who is making the move on Pierce Hausler, actually. So you see Pete Morales set another fastest lap. We got a yellow.
Yo. Like Rob Mooney is involved there. Not sure if he is the cause or the effect. The cause might be the 8 of Randy Yoakum. Those two definitely got into each other, but not sure if Yoakum or Mooney was the cause. Looks like the Scooby-Doo machine got involved, unfortunately. So we'll see if we can get the replay spun up here. And
yeah, I'm trying to get that working.
So having a little bit of issues here, folks, but to kind of paint a picture, I'm going to do the best that I can, kind of MRN style. Rob and the 08, they were side by side. Rob kind of got the wall just a little bit, and I don't even know if Rob really moved down all that much. As much as it was maybe Randy was thinking that was where Rob needed to be, and Rob wasn't in the wall. But Rob gets turned down towards the inside, kind of spins back up, collects Randy Yoakum. The 49 gets involved, and the 46 was also involved. So 4 drivers involved in this early yellow. These guys should be able to get resorted. As we are getting a penalty on Pete Morales for the initial start.
Yeah, we have a bunch of commotion going on right now about the start, pace speeds and whatnot. Let's check the replay here. Yeah, Ty, I'm not really sure. There definitely was a bit of a movement downwards for the 84, but he was also in the wall and then moved down. So I think I kind of would agree with you there. He didn't have any room to really get down to a reasonable racing line, but I don't know if I can really put that on either one.
Or here's the start.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that now, that's... Pete definitely was ahead as they get to the restart zone. And then my question is, did Bryce hold pace speed? I think that's a huge question here, and I think that's what they're looking at. At least Gavin is taking a look at it, and I would assume that that was looked at. I don't know what's being talked about on the radio, but there's a lot of understanding from what it sounds like. Pete is not happy. iRacing didn't give him the penalty, so he's saying that he shouldn't get one, but either way, we are 1 to green here. Bryce Fody will be your leader. Teammate Dylan Javier on the outside. Oates in 3rd. James Watson, that beautiful Gentleman Ned throwback. Obviously, a rough couple months here for NASCAR fans. We lost Kyle Busch, and we lose Gentleman Ned Jarrett. It's been a rough, I would say a rough year. I mean, you count in the loss of Greg Biffle, just a really tough year for NASCAR fans, and losing just cornerstones of our industry. But James doing a fantastic job paying his respects to Gentleman Ned tonight.
Yeah, it's been a rough 6 months or so, really, hasn't it been? So, like that kind of thing to stop, and then we can just kind of get on with things. But, you know, definitely a cool little car there for James, and he's putting a gunner up there in the top 5 right now. Let's see if he can keep that momentum up here for the restart.
As we get ready to roll to the restart zone, Bryce Fody is your leader. He should have control. Hopefully we don't have any more start shenanigans here. Into the restart zone, a good jump for him. Dylan Javier not able to get on the loud pedal. That's going to allow Oates to get through for second. These guys stay double file, no huge checkups there, so everybody's going to be fighting for position here.
I'm fairly certain we're about to see a lane change penalty here for the 80, because he did do that, so hopefully race control saw that. But anyway, we are going to have a battle for the lead here. The 73 of Oates, well, he was caught up to the 80, but let's see if that was a penalty coming for Fody here.
They pretty much single file out other than the top 10. Dylan Javier and Morris, they are side by side for the 3rd spot. Kurt Gibson looking to make a little bit more leeway through the field. Back a little bit further. I believe that's Josh Osborne working his way through. I could be wrong, but I believe that's exactly who it is. He's trying to work underneath the Austin and Abnett machine, sorry. There's nothing yet for the 80. But, we might have another wreck here. We're shattering over the radio.
It usually means something. Oh, someone's in the wall there. That's going to be a big one. I think that was a Abnett once again. Kind of 2 hits there.
Yeah, can confirm it was Austin and Abnett. Joshua Osborne apologizing for some contact there. Oh, we got one on the wall. Junior Seamus.
Some more contact in the back. Josh Osborne says he had an issue, but still going straight for him.
A lot of these guys, these cars will build loose on corner exit, which is a big problem for Dover because you kind of... Oh, we got one going towards the inside wall. Going to get stopped on the racetrack. That should bring out a yellow. I'm surprised it hasn't yet. As it's Curtis Cochran. He's around backwards, trying to get that thing flipped. The leaders are coming. I hope he doesn't... Oh, no. Okay, just... Yep. Smart move. I thought we were maybe going to try to flip that thing around. We're wrecking somewhere else.
This was the caution.
So Curtis Cochran wasn't the yellow despite being turned around backwards on the front straightaway. Dalton Hayes is apologizing. Pete Morales is still going on about the EOL, but let's see what's going on here on the Infinity Graphics Design replay. So there's Curtis Cochran going around. And then off the nose to Josh Osborne. So car 07 having a little bit of struggles here early on. Oh, God bless. Oh, God. Let's get a look at what happened through here. 13 gets turned. I mean, we piled up a lot of race cars there.
A mildly large wreck here at Dover.
I can't even track down who that was.
Sorry, folks. There's a lot going on between chatter on the radio about things that are going on. We're trying to wrap our heads around everything that's happening here. Still chatter about that initial start where, I mean, looking at it, I can't confirm that Pete Morales was ahead of Bryce Fody. I'm not sure what we're arguing here. See the 13 involved. I believe that was the 66 that was involved as well. Maybe not the 66, but definitely a Kyle Busch inspired paint that we've known to be Cale Pocock sometimes. What have we got going on here? We will re-rack this. I believe we are. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I think that's Dominic Wright. Yes, that is Dominic Wright.
Okay, so he's the reason, or he's involved. We're one green.
Okay, so Cale Pocock checks up. Dom gets into the back of him. The car behind Dom turns Dom. And then that second incident is kind of a chain reaction of everybody seeing what happens in front of them. And that's going to bring us here. So ultimately, race control not putting anything on Bryce Fody on the lane change. So he will maintain the lead. Oates in second. Javier third. Fourth for Blackley. Morris fifth. Sixth for James Watson. Seventh, Nick Silver. Eighth for Kurt Gibson. Ninth, Pierce Hausler. Andrew Hardcastle. That is your top 10 as we roll to the restart zone. Cam, this has been a little bit of a mess. I'm not going to lie to you. These guys have had a little bit more struggle than I thought they would.
Yeah, I'm a little confused myself. I think we got a bit of an inconsistent ruling of rules here in this race so far. I'm not sure why the 80's still out in the lead, but I guess that lane change will be forever available for the whole world to see. But we'll see if he does it here on the restart once again, because we are coming through turn number 4. There we go, and I think this time he is going to keep it down there and keep it in the correct lane. Side by side with Oates through turns 1 and 2. That 73 looking really strong on the outside right now. Let's see if he can keep it up there on the outside line, keep it on the right rear of that 80, but he's going to get the run off turn number 2, and here he goes. Battle for the lead.
Jonathan Oates looking to take this away from Bryce Fody, rolling through 3 and 4. He's going to have to run off the top. He's going to lead that lap. Kind of going to maintain it. We're going to see a lot of these guys run this line that he's running way up on the entry. He's not going to be able to get that car to rotate off the center of the corner, so Bryce Fody's going to have a huge shot in as we head towards 3 and 4 here. He's absolutely torching that right front, though. I will say that much. So he's going to want to try to get down as quick as possible, and I think he's going to be able to. I believe that is the 73 is going to take advantage of, I think that's Aiden Morris, or Blackley, sorry, putting the air on the back of Bryce Fody. They're going to make contact. There was a car on the bottom of the racetrack. I think that's Rob Mooney. He's crab walking. Side by side for second. Jonathan Oates is pulling away, but it's Bryce Fody and Blackley fighting for second. Blackley's in the wall. Bryce Fody with a stubble. Here comes Dylan Javier. They're 3 wide.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is what anybody wants right now, but that number 80 is certainly struggling into the side of, who was that? That was the 01 just a couple corners ago, and now he's got a whole bunch of friends behind him that are going to be right up there in that battle. So Javier, Watson, Gibson, Silver, all looking to get around this number 80. Definitely struggling there, put up there on the outside line right now. See what Javier can do. But the thing about Dover here is if you are on the outside line, you do have a little bit more leeway to drive it in there a little bit harder than the guy in the inside because you have all the room up the track. But that also could be a bad thing as well because the grip up there could be inconsistent. Contact Javier and Gibson behind Fody. I think that's going to give him some room behind him.
Oh, Javier and Nick Silver now going to make contact. He almost turned himself on the nose of the 09. James Watson looking to get advantage of that. Not going to be able to. Nick Silver is going to be able to clear him. So back to single file throughout most of the top 10. First side-by-side battle. It's going to be Andrew Hardcastle and Pierce Hausler. Hardcastle gets around Pierce Hausler. Here comes Jaden Rosimas to try to make his way into the top 10.
Dominic Wright very slow up there on the outside. I think that was Dominic Wright. That was not Dominic Wright, actually.
No, Scotty Larson. Oh, and he's going to make contact. Outside wall. Down to the nose of Sam Boutwell. Mark Rebelos calling out the good avoidance there by Sam, so able to not have an accident there. As right now, Jonathan Oates under pressure from Matthew Blackley, Aiden Morris in third, Bryce Fody fourth, Kurt Gibson fifth. That's your top five. Working lap 28 of 125.
It definitely feels like it's gone a little bit longer than 28 laps here, but we are starting to get some green flag running here. Battle for third, Fody under Morris in that 55. That I would call it old monitor colors, magenta and cyan. Very cool, but not going to be able to make the move right now. Bryce Fody is actually going to be under fire from Gibson now on that high side. The 88 using that high side to his advantage right now. Going to make the move pretty easy. So move that number 88 up to position number 4.
Bryce Fody just continues to struggle. I would imagine going to be under fire from teammate Dylan Javier. Teammates not stopping these guys. Kurt Gibson, a teammate of Bryce Fody, and he went and he took that spot away from the 80 machine. And I have to wonder if maybe this is Bryce Fody either A, saving tires, or if he used his tires too much on those earlier runs, because he is kind of falling like a rock.
Yeah, definitely a bit on the struggle bus right now for that 80. So gonna have to figure out something. I wouldn't know what it is. It looks like he just doesn't have the grip in one ends of the race car. I can't even tell if it's loose or tight for him right now, but definitely just see right off turn number 2, he's gonna get a big under fire there from Javier. He had a great run off turn number 2, but did not have anywhere to go with it just now. But I think that lacking a little bit of drive off could be. We have a battle for the lead.
Absolutely, these guys starting to slug it out. You see Jonathan Oates on the top side, Blackley on the inside. They're going to be, they're going to make contact. Able to hold on to it. We got one guy saying he ran out of talent. I believe that was Chris James. Now Blackley's going to be under fire from Aiden Morris. All of this going on. Jonathan Oates able to drive away just a little bit. Blackley with a good run back to the back bumper of the number 73 machine. As we roll through turns 1 and 2, lap car going to play a little bit of a factor here. Oh, and it will height.
Ooh.
3 wide. They're going to, that's going to cause a little bit of a trouble for Dylan Javier. Will
That car is well off the pace.
Yeah, that nose clip. Oh, Josh Osborne into the wall. A lot of these guys starting to struggle with the exit of turn 4 specifically. Lots of contact with that outside wall. They're kind of pancaking the right side of these ARCA cars. Able to keep holding on now.
Yeah, and turn 4 is a bit of a difficult corner, just because you would think that all 4 corners here drive the same, or at least the exits. So turn 2 and turn 4, but there's definitely a difference there at turn 4. A little bit less grip than turn 2, I think. You know, if you let the dirty air get you caught out, it can definitely send you off in the wall.
These guys are working lap 35 and 125. About 90 laps to go here for these guys, so a lot of time. And a lot of these guys kind of building that patience up. A lot of these new names that we haven't seen here in the ARCA series, let alone in Elite in general. Starting to get their bearings around these guys. I think as we get deeper into the season, we saw it last season out, where these guys kind of knew who they were racing around and how they could kind of maximize what they were getting out of their runs. So far so good. We've kind of cleaned it up. Looks like everybody's maintaining everything pretty well, other than these lap cars that are a little bit beat up. I'm seeing, I think, 3 cars that are decently off the pace.
That battle for 6 continues to rage on. Fody and Javier now also has like Nick Silver as well. So we have a bit of a truly trained form behind the 80 right now. He's I definitely think that about 3, 4, 5 of those cars are faster than him, but just cannot find a way around. Here's Nick Silver to the outside, trying to see if he can use that outside line, extra space on the track to get some momentum. He's going to get it off turn 2, but just cannot do anything right now.
And there is nothing more frustrating than a car in front of you on a track like this, where it's 2 lane, but you can make the car just wide enough to where nobody can do anything, and you're just kind of bleeding time. As we're seeing, I'm seeing somebody spun off of 2, unless I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. Okay, Pierce Hausler was way off speed. I was concerned there, but you know, Bryce Fody's doing a great job as far as being defensive and not letting these guys do anything. Pierce Hausler's now stopped on the racetrack, I think. I'm amazed that hasn't brought out a yellow somehow. But we carry on. Nick Silver now to the outside of Bryce Fody. Fody not able to get the run. Silver's going to get by. So there is one less position for Fody. Pierce Hausler is creeping around the racetrack. I think he's finally on pit road.
Yeah, major issues with that 61. I'm not sure what is going on with it, but definitely has got it back to the pit road. So that is good. We aren't going to have a caution for it. Definitely a dangerous situation that happened down in turn 3. It looked like he almost came back out on the racetrack, and that's what we heard Dominic Wright kind of shouting over the radio about. But we are still good here. The 34 Emmett Wilhite continues to be well off the pace. There is absolutely nothing in that car right now. You see the front end is held on by hopes and dreams.
And that's not what we wanted. That's a huge checkup that a lot of these guys just had to make. And that's going to lose Dylan Javier positions. Looked like it was kind of a weird spot for Andrew Hardcastle trying to get off of the corner. That's not what we want to see here. That's definitely not great. But he's doing the best he can. Oh, no!
Where did that come from? That car appeared out of nowhere on the screen, and Lord have mercy, we're wrecking.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. I think we just looked at it at the same time. Uh-oh.
That's, oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be a replay to break down here. And this is going to be something, God bless. Okay, so, a lot to unpack here, folks. So it looked like Scotty Larson was getting lapped by the leaders, maybe got turned around off of the nose of the 01. And then I feel like he was holding his brakes. I can't say 100% that he wasn't, because obviously when these cars get killed, you lose the ability to stop these things. I don't even think the right front's connected. But he gets clobbered. I mean, clobbered by Andrew Hardcastle. Sends that thing up in the air. Jaden Racimez with damage. Lots of cars with damage. James Watson, I believe, got turned to the inside wall, so that gentleman Ned throwback is going to be a little bit banged up on the 39. Lots of guys with damage from that. So here come the leaders, about getting close to halfway in this race. We kind of expect that. We will cover the race off of pit road, and then we will take our first ad break of the evening. Give these guys a little bit of time to regroup and give us a little bit of time to wrap our heads around everything that's happening as we see everybody making their way off of pit road. I would have to imagine Jonathan Oates will keep the lead. I think number of guys, Kirk Gibson, Dylan Javier, everybody else is kind of staying the same. David Westergreen with some big moves, but we will take our first commercial break of the evening, and we'll be right back with you guys.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education. Yeah, it's...
Oh, no.
back here at Dover Speedway, this is, okay. Jonathan Oates is the lead. We had a little bit of a mess. Nick Silver in second, Morris in third. A lot of guys are going to need black clears. We had a lap car at the front of the pack. Lots of guys.
I genuinely do not know what iRacing was smoking before that restart. I have no idea how we got to that point. I'm not going to lie.
I am lost for work.
Well, somehow we have gotten to a point where it almost looks like a normal race here at the front. Oates leads Silver and Morris Gibson up to the top 5, and Blackley is 5th. But Lord have mercy, it has been a lot to unpack, Ty. We're not even halfway. We got about 10 more laps or so, 12 more laps before we hit that. But it has been nothing but exciting.
One of the Infinity Graphic Design Dev Series races of all time, but Jonathan Oates is your leader still. That is one thing that has remained true through these restarts. Nick Silver has taken advantage of everything and gotten up to second. He's actually on the back bumper of the number 73 machine, so that'll be interesting there. Morris, Kurt Gibson up to 4th. He's had a fantastic run so far tonight as we're nearing that halfway point. Somebody who has taken some pretty big strides, and a lot of cars now damaged, and I would have to imagine some of them have retired from the race. Scotty Larson out of the race. James Watson, haven't really got a look at that number 39 machine. He is pretty killed, so that's somebody who had a really good pace and speed that unfortunately is not going to be able to do anything. And, getting a look at the YouTube chat here. Ethan Burrell cheering for Kurt Gibson. Caleb telling me that it is pronounced Haver. I've always wondered, and nobody's correcting me, so Caleb, I appreciate that. And Zach Evans saying, yeah, front wheels were no longer part of the group project in response to the Kurt Gibson accident. So lots to unpack here for these guys so far, but Jonathan Oates not wavering as we see a battle right now for, I believe, the 4th spot. Kurt Gibson under pressure from Blackley and Haver. These guys are kind of squabbling it out right now. Everybody else kind of single file throughout the top 10.
Yeah, now you and I both learned something new today. I guess I've just been kind of following that as well. But here's Frank Fody looking below Haver as well in the 57. A couple of battles brewing here. Jacob Adams as well trying to join this fight. So all of a sudden, a couple of these cars further back in the top 10, they're trying to make their way through their gain some spots here. Frank Fody, we've seen him be really fast in some instances. He's had some bad luck in several Elite Series. A couple good runs kind of thwarted by that bad luck here, but here he is under fire from Jacob Adams in the 28.
Somebody a little bit further back than all this, had speed in practice, has been really good in this ARCA car, just kind of missed it in qualifying. David Westergreen, somebody we've constantly talked about. He was a contender last week at Michigan. He's kind of stayed quiet today, kept his nose clean throughout a lot of these struggles that these guys are having. But nonetheless, David Westergreen is alive and well for the time being. I probably just commentators jinxed him. But he's hanging on right now, just outside the top 10. As now everybody's single file, no battles out here. So I think this is going to be huge for these guys. Who's saving tires the best? I'm not sure as far as fuel mileage goes. If they can make it to the end, I would have to imagine they cannot. But we will find out.
I don't think they could, but lots of lines we're seeing here. You can see the 3-4 different lines that these guys are running throughout the turns. Some of these guys going way up to the wall, and then some of them running the classic Dover line right near the bottom of the racetrack. But a battle for the lead brewing here. Nick Silver, he's using that higher line, kind of diamonding it looks like, to get a better run off the corner, and he is caught that 73 of Oates. So we do have a battle brewing here, maybe for second as well. Here comes Morris with a big move to the inside of Silver. He says he wants to join this fight as well.
I'm noticing as these guys try to make a run for the lead, if they stumble, the person that's third is able to get such a good run that they're able to kind of put pressure on them. So if I'm Jonathan Oates, I'm kind of taking note of that. Maybe as we get closer to the end of this race, put yourself in that position to where you're kind of able to cover second off and then get them fighting for second with the guy behind them. And then you're able to maybe buy yourself some time. Because right now these guys are kind of getting sorted. We see, I believe that is Frank Fody. He breaks into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Looking really good in that nice bright blue Bojo paint machine. He follows teammate Dylan Haver. as they both sit in the top 5. He started 20th. He's up a bunch of spots. I think right now your biggest mover award would be Connor Thompson-Gardner up 24. Blake Wise up 24. Lots of guys cooking in response to their starting position that are staying alive. You see Dylan Haver now putting some pressure on Blackley. Sorry, dude, English is hard. You know, it's such a hard language, and we struggle with it sometimes. I struggle with it more than others, which is alarming for how many times I have to speak, but we're getting there.
It's kind of a mismatch of languages from around the world and around times, but here's a battle. Adams on Bodie here for the last spot in the top
it's going to get
5.
tricky.
Ooh, Will Height. That car is...
Oh, no!
There we go.
Oh, gosh. David Westerkin with damage.
I think that commentator's curse was real a little bit. It just took a couple laps, and a car that is well off minimum speed, or if it existed, would be off minimum speed being involved there. But Emmett Wilhite in 34 being involved. That car was very, very slow. You can see here just one of the hallmarks of Dover, Ty, is not a lot of room. Those walls are close, and there's not a lot of room to go around wrecks when they happen.
Yeah, kind of. We talked about how much of a pain turn 4 is when you're getting run off the corner, let alone when there's a car there, and we see it here, turn 2. And I can't, Emmett was trying to stay out of the way. I can't really say that there was much more he could have done. I think room could have been given in that situation. Connor Thompson-Gardner able to get through clean, does he? He parks the bus, so good on Connor keeping that thing clean.
Go on board with Blake Wise.
We kind of get on board with Blake Wise here. Lots of different angles of this one. He is so far behind the wreck. I really hope he didn't just say he wanted to be part of it. That's exactly what happened. Okay. All right.
Wow, that was a hit there.
Yeah, a hit that is completely avoidable, by the way.
You know, I think we've seen that same thing from that same driver in the past, Ty. I think we need to get a series mechanic to go in there and make sure that the brakes are actually installed on the 33.
I mean, we got a lot to unpack here. A lot of these guys have a lot of damage to unpack. David Westerkin getting involved, and I trust me. The last thing that I want to do is to sit here on a Tuesday night and just berate these guys, because it is a development series. But at some point, when there's a huge wreck, we have to put 2 and 2 together that we're not going to live if we full throttle through this and lift.
Yeah, Days of Thunder was just a movie. That's not how things actually work here. But you know, so much was going on there that the guy who I was going to make a horrible joke for, just on behalf of our ERN colleague James Watson, who currently runs somewhere in the track. It's like 19th for the Ned Jarrett throwback, but you could say that Jonathan was taking a note of it. And with that, let's re-rack the top 10 and shame real quick. Nick Silver is your leader. He's here on the top 10, or he's on the top of the racetrack. Dylan Haver second, Gibson third, Adams fourth. Andrew Witt is actually Bryce Fody fifth, Andrew Witt sixth, Connor Thompson seventh, Kel Pocock eighth, ninth is Daniel Levin, and 10th is Curtis Cochran. But we're past halfway, Ty, so let's see if we can do it again, but a little bit less cautions this time. This 09 Nick Silver, we've seen him really quick up to this point. Up there running that high side a little bit, so he's going to be starting up there. We'll see if... I believe this is his first start this year. Let's see if he can come out and get himself a win.
We've got a lot of new names into the top 10. This has been MS, but I hope that we can get this sorted. We've got guys getting black flags that I would imagine weren't thrown. Nick Silver is the leader. He's going to get a really good jump. The inside lane did not go. Kurt Gibson side by side with Dylan Haver for second. Jacob Adams trying to push that Haver machine out a little bit further, as we kind of see a lot going on here.
Got a lot 3 wide, further on back. Whoa, boy. My goodness.
This is going to get messy. A lot of guys shuffling through, maybe not aware of how much damage they could have if they were involved in the incident. Oates on those fresh tires, maybe trying to work through, get underneath. That is the 67 machine of Andrew Witt. Does so. Now has his sights set on Cale Pocock. Got Bryce Fody trying to work back around Jacob Adams here for the 4th position. These guys are already really spread out. I think that's just a sign of how many cars have some damage.
Connor Thompson, look at the driver of the 30 making a move around Bryce Fody. Started, I think, literally last on the field, or just about, but he has kept his car clean somehow. And that number 30 looking pretty fast here right now. I think we've seen speed out of Connor at Dover before in other series, so definitely has something here, knows something around this racetrack. Matthew Blackley looking like he wants to make a move around Connor around the outside. Gonna actually do that. Lots of comers and goers and precision shift up here, so definitely the track looking wide out here tonight. You love to see that. Dover, for the longest time, was a single file racetrack. It really didn't have a lot of a high line at all, but it kind of got it over in the kind of early 2010s, late or early to mid 2010s. It started developing a really, really prominent high line, so it's kind of what we have here tonight. Good to see that there's multiple groups here at this racetrack. Bryce Fody under fire from the 73 of Jonathan Oates, and I believe he did pit in that last caution, so that was why he got knocked to the back. You see him run way up there next to the wall, and that's such a cool line at Dover. I love this place because of that.
Right now, Nick Silver, if he keeps this up, we're going to have to call him Quick Nick Silver, because he's absolutely hauling right now. As he's pulling away from Dylan Haver, and I believe that's Jacob Adams, and then the 01 of Blackley. They are starting to squabble for second. Connor Thompson-Gardner, we talked about his wreck avoidance there, and that has netted him a top 10 position for that. That's what I think a lot of these guys would have right now if they hit the brakes on those accidents, but we just chose not to. But Connor Thompson-Gardner reaping the rewards of that right now as he starts to work through these guys. You see that Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. He's had a rough night. He's been involved in a couple accidents, but he's still out here on the racetrack kicking. As Blackley gets around both Haver and Adams. Now has his sights set on Nick Silver. Working lap 72 of 125. Not many battles on the racetrack right now, so we will keep you guys entertained. As right now, Blackley's actually to the back bumper of the 09 of Nick Silver. He's closed down that gap quite a bit. As we see Jonathan Oates work his way around another car. Silver trying to run that bottom lane. Blackley kind of prioritizing that middle groove to get the run off the corner, and it's going to benefit him here. We got another yellow.
Like Andrew Witt up there in turn 2. He's looped it. Lots of damage on the back of that race car. Oh my goodness. I think Harry might be injured. The 8 car might have to get airlifted.
Look at it on the replay. Oh, no, no. Hard hit. Harrison Talon.
Lord have mercy. Someone get Harry in an ambulance or something, but definitely a bad hit there for the 8. Get another replay here. Oh, good Lord. On board with Andrew Witt, so it looks like really only these two. Oh, Dave Huckberry involved as well. So that's 3 cars involved in this one.
Lots of stuff going on. As think maybe a little too late, driving coach Corey Abbott has connected. So I'm imagining we might get a little bit of help for these guys tonight, because boy, oh boy, the review is going to be long for this one. If you guys didn't know, something new that is happening this season is we're trying to get these guys just a better understanding of the things that happen on the racetrack and how they can change it and make it a little bit better. And Corey volunteering his time to do that, to put the work in with these guys is really cool, man. We I think as a developmental series, we can use that for these guys, and it's a tool for them to have to hopefully make less nights like this happen. So As we work through this caution, we will take one more quick break to run a couple short ads, and we will be right back with you guys.
Guys, I don't know what to do, man.
The 5th annual Enjoy Illinois 300 is roaring into Worldwide Technology Raceway on Sunday, September 13th, bringing NASCAR Cup Series racing to the most challenging track on tour. Watch the world's greatest drivers battle it out in high-speed, side-by-side action. But it's more than a race, it's a full weekend experience. Whether you're a lifelong NASCAR fan or just looking for an unforgettable gateway getaway, get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bowlen Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bowlen lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bowlen Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Back here at Dover International, Dover Motor Speed, there's a lot of names. There's a lot going on here tonight. The Monster Mile, and we are back ready to go green, working our 5th caution of the night, lap 76 of 125. And got, I believe this is the 01 of Blackley in the lead. Jonathan Oates, a lot of guys shuffling under pit stops. Green flag back in the air. It's a good restart for him. It's a good restart for the 73 as well. They both get a jump on that inside line. And we are moving and grooving. Caution is back out on the speedway. I don't even want to look, but we have to.
A big one going into turn 1 here.
Yeah. Get a look at what happened on the replay cam. Cale Pocock destroyed front end on that 66 machine. Oh, man. Just a bad restart for one of the guys on the inside lane.
Might be the 80 of Bryce Fody. Looked like he had trouble getting going, and Cale Pocock got Beybladed down to the inside of the wall and just killed right there.
No, it's a little further up ahead.
I think it happened in front of Bryce there, for sure. Yep.
There is so much. So, like, I mean, I don't. Let's see if I can pinpoint. So Dalton Hayes is saying that somebody missed a shift in front of him.
PJ Jackson, I think, might be the culprit.
Get a look at what happened here. Yeah. I mean, it's Kurt Gibson, it's Bryce Fody, it's Dalton Hayes, and then Cale Pocock not able to get that thing going. Yeah, there's just a chain reaction, which is something that we're used to seeing on restarts, especially at a place like Dover. It's pretty rough. And working lap 79, sorry. Caution number 6. And it's a chain reaction, so no penalty on that one.
I didn't see if PJ was in the wrong gear or what, but just did not get going there. And I mean, this is one of the harder tracks to just restart at in general, just because the banking is so high, and especially if you're in that transition kind of where the turn turns into the straightaway, it's just it can cause all sorts of havoc with the wheel spin and all sorts of things. So not surprised we're seeing a little bit here in the developmental, that's a hard word for me to say, but the developmental series, because even in the real live Cup series, it's one of the tracks where you always see restart issues at.
We are 1 to green this time by 46 laps to go. 45 when we get back to the line. We will rack your top 10 for you. Matthew Blackley is your leader. Jonathan Oates second. Randy Yoakum third. Fourth for Nick Silver. Fifth, Scott Rankin. Sixth for Jacob Adams. Seventh for Connor Thompson Gardner. Eighth for Dylan Haver. Ninth is Daniel Lehman. And 10th is Kurt Gibson. Josh Osborne announcing over the radio that his race is over. Can you imagine if that happened for everybody that's been involved in wrecks tonight that ended their race cam?
Yeah, if not to be shocking or anything, but our retirement list currently looks to be about 14 cars, maybe 15 cars. So
she chunked.
Yeah, look right there.
Yeah,
a lot of those aren't coming back out.
And I think a lot of these guys involved in the championship, this is going to shake this up. We're only one race in, and this is race number 2, so there's a lot to do as our leader picks the bottom on the restart. Into the restart zone. It's a great jump for him. 73 Jonathan Oates, not quite the jump that he wanted. And that's going to be a lane change, I would have to imagine, on the 01. That's pretty blatant. Race control is right on that one. So, yeah,
well, that's going to give the lead to Jonathan Oates, so hopefully he just takes it easy here. We have some action back here a little bit around the back half of the top 10. That's Adams and Dylan Haver behind him. Randy Yoakum there. Then Rankin, what I assume his flag is, so I'm going to call him the Australian driver in the Mystery Machine. He's been giving that one a good run tonight, has driven it through the pack, and he is looking pretty strong. There is the and Matthew Blackley making his drive-through for the lane change on the restart.
Which, I mean, this late in the race, you don't want to see that happen, but I feel like it's something that it's not allowed in the Premier Series, so we can't really let it happen here. And I feel like it takes once, and then you're kind of aware of it. You don't want to let that happen again, especially when it costs you the lead. So Jonathan Oates will go back to the lead. Second is Nick Silver. Third is going to be Jacob Adams. Fourth, Dylan Haver. And fifth, as Cam mentioned, the Mystery Machine. Having a fantastic run. Mostly single file throughout the pack that's left. And I would hope to stay that we're able to maintain that for a little bit. Get some patience. See Connor Thompson Gardner trying to work to the outside of Kurt Gibson. Nothing going to come of it right there. Connor's been somebody that's he's been in elite, I think, a couple seasons now, and he's somebody that we have seen vastly improve on speed, on racecraft, on literally everything. Connor has stepped up season after season. So somebody that I'm glad to see still taking reps in the Dev Series and doing what he can to just have track time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Ty. I think something that is often forgotten about when it comes to racing in general. What a shame, because race is half the name, but racecraft is, we always talk about getting better, getting faster, getting, such like that. But I think learning how to race, learning how to get what you want out of a race is half the battle, I think, here. As you see, Daniel Lemon taking a inside line there to try to get around Connor Thompson, but Connor Thompson gonna hold him off around the outside line there. Now here comes Bryce Fody to make Daniel Lemon's life a little bit harder here. Here's Jaden Racimus as well in that fight. We haven't talked about Jaden Racimus much to this point. He's had a quiet day, but we are packing up here at the front, Ty.
He's somebody that we talked about. I think when we talked to our guys last week or last time out at Michigan, he was somebody that we talked about asking those questions about who has caught your eye and who is somebody that you're looking at. Both of the people that we talked to that weren't Jaden Racimus talked about Jaden, and I think that it goes a long way when you're getting recognized by the guys you're out on track with. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Right now, he's worked his way back into the top 10 as we see this kind of top 5 gaggle at the front here. These guys are packing up. And then right behind them, you see Randy Yoakum. Oh, that didn't sound good. I heard that. I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Yeah, Jaden Racimus ran in the back of Bryce Fody there, and there was almost I believe it would have been our 7th caution, but they kept it straight.
These guys are getting grouped up. You see Connor Thompson Gardner working around Jaden Racimus that time. Gets around Bryce Fody as well. Now sets his sight on Kurt Gibson for the 6th position. Kurt's kind of hitting that bottom groove, kind of catching that bump. It's unsettling that 88 machine just a little bit. these guys are starting to get more and more comfortable getting through turns 3 and 4 in that outside wall. Let's get a look back out front here. See Jacob Adams starting to apply some pressure on Nick Silver, try to get that second spot away. To maybe go try to run down Jonathan Oates. Everybody's still single file. We are lap 92 of 125, so about 34 to go. Working around that. Matthew Blackley has disconnected, so he is not going to make his way back out on the racetrack. Decided that that was enough for him.
Action around the back half of the top 10. James Seamus, Bryce Fody going at it. Dalton Hayes back there in 11th. We haven't talked about him all race, but actually in the 47 car on screen. The second 47. The other 47, of course, being Sam Boutwell, but he's also in the 47. So hopefully we can get that one fixed for next race. But Dalton Hayes making a good run up there in the 11th spot, trying to get up there in the top 10. You see right at the top of your screen, right, the top corner right now, that's kind of the back half of the top 10 battle right there. So a big wad of cars, and we have a battle for second here. Jacob Adams on the inside of Silver trying to do something there. And we're just going to see how the dynamic of Dover kind of works and how it's been working all day. You make a move to the inside, then you get passed around the outside. So frustrating as heck in that regard, Ty. Jacob Adams has to be fuming right now.
I mean, we talked about when it was the battle for the lead, right? Jonathan Oates was able to cover off the guy in second. The guy in third would have the move, and that time it was the guy in third trying to pass for second, and the driver that was in fourth was just able to kind of see that happening.
Back half of the top 10 again. They were contact 3 wide. Connor Thompson got put in the wall, and it's going to put Dalton Hayes into the top 10. Daniel Lemon as well. Big loser there was Connor Thompson, losing 2 or 3 spots, right? Looks like.
Absolute respect to James Watson asking where the leaders want him to be, which, you know, obviously somebody that's been here a lot knows that that's kind of what you have to do, and tries to make it easier on him. Kind of gets awkward there on corner exit. It's going to be a battle for the lead. Jonathan Oates falls into the clutches of Dylan Haver and the 09 of Nick Silver. Oh, Haver and Silver door bang off of 2. That's going to open the door for Jacob Adams to sneak back by for the third position if he's able to get clear of Haver. Not quite. Haver's going to be stuck on the bottom of the racetrack. That's going to kill his run off of turn 4. Back to fourth goes Haver. Up to third goes Adams. And we might have us a battle for the lead. Nick Silver with a huge arc through 1 and 2. Cuts that Ford Mustang down to the bottom of the racetrack. Good run down the back straightaway. Nothing of it just yet. I think he knows that if he tries to make that pass on the bottom, it's going to go nowhere, as we see these guys start to continue to work around that number 39 of James Watson.
Another player up the front, Scott Rankin, the Australian. He's made his way up there as well, looking very quick in the Mystery Machine. And all sorts of lines up here at the front being shown. Everybody kind of running a different line, which probably necessary due to the dirty air. But yeah, we're about to have a 3-car battle for the lead. Oates, Silver, and Adams, they're kind of right on each other. Here comes Adams on the bottom of Silver. Out of turn 4, big run, turns into a small run. Jacob Adams can't go anywhere with 28, so he's going to try around the outside line here.
Another lap car in the way of the leaders here. Frank Fody letting these guys work around him. Top 5 gets clear. It's now up to everybody else. 25 laps to go this time. Top 5 under a blanket. 6th through 10th a little bit further back, and everybody else kind of straggling along here. As these guys keep moving higher and higher on the racetrack, tire wear becoming more prominent, and these guys needing runs off the corner to set themselves up for a pass. I think it's going to be tricky, though. I mean, especially if they're all shooting for the top of the racetrack, they don't want to make that move on the bottom. It's just going to freight train out unless somebody gets lucky and goes for a send and makes it stick on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of plays out, but 20 laps to go is a long time.
Oh, bumper to the back of the 09.
Oh, yep, that's going to not. Oh, no! They didn't have to do that, but they did.
Okay, well. It was getting good. Can't have nice things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, I don't know, we'll see if race control thinks that's as I'll have to get a replay on that to see what happens. But we'll see if race control has to deem of that. I didn't get a good view from my first couple views. Let's see if race control, or let's see if our replay will tell the story a little bit better. Nick Silver, a great run comes to an end with that one. No front end on the race car, and yeah, with about 20 laps to go, he's not going to be able to get much fix on that to be any sort of competitiveness. So that's going to be the end of that.
Leaders are all coming down pit road. Jonathan Oates will lead him down. Haver second, third for Jacob Adams, fourth for Rankin, and fifth for Kurt Gibson. Kurt has been solid all night long, fighting up in this top 5 and the top 10. So we will see who will win the race off pit road. You see guys pulling in their boxes. Jaden Racimus, Kurt Gibson, everybody hitting their boxes. Can't win the race if you don't win the race off of pit road, and these guys are going to have to do it here. 4 tires on most of these machines, I would imagine. Jonathan Oates will lead them off. He might have taken 2. That is a huge jump for him. Haver second, Adams third, Rankin, Kurt Gibson, Jaden Racimus. That's your top 5 off of pit road. Top 6, actually. Everybody else sorting out as we speak.
Yeah, 2 tires there. Dover is a it's a bold call. It tends to have a loosening effect on the race car. So if you were already loose, you're going to be looser, and if you were tight, well, yeah, you might be comfortable. So not really sure what the case is for Jonathan, but he is going to have the clean air, and he is going to be able to control the restart. So those are 2 pretty big advantages themselves, and going to have under 20 laps to go here. So we'll see what he has in him.
As we are back 1 to green, so we will go green with about what are we on, 1:05, so with 20 to go here on the racetrack, and a lot of things are going to need to happen for those guys that are fixing damage to be relevant in the equation, but you never know. I don't know. I feel like there was a chunk of net code on that last wreck, but race control going to deem that on 57. Yeah, he's just waiting for net code, so it's a little late, but if that's going to be on the 57, we've got to delay the yellow and get an EOL to the 57. Well, not an EOL. Nope, this isn't. Nope, we don't do that here. Never mind. Haha. Ready to go here. I think we're all just ready for this night to be over. I'm not going to lie to you. Jonathan Oates picks the top side for the restart. Roll towards that Poet restart zone. Huge jump for the 73. Rankin with a good jump. He's going to slide through to second. Everybody's going to maintain their lane. Haver third. Adams into the 4th spot, and Randy Yoakum on the outside looking to steal a top 5 running position. Hardcast with a black flag. I would imagine some of those are for just cars. Oh, hold on to it. They are 3 wide, a little bit further back. Everybody cooking right now.
I think it was Daniel Lemon that got a little bit of a shot from Connor Thompson. Got all sorts of sideways, but lost about a spot or 2, but still going good. And 09 and Nick Silver looking much worse for the wear. Yeah, what a shame. He was looking so good earlier.
So we've got a battle for the 5th position. Jaden Racimus, Randy Yoakum side by side. Racimus on the top side. I would expect to get that momentum. See Dylan Haver set the new fastest lap of the race. Racimus and Yoakum still side by side. Racimus is going to barely get clear as they head towards turn 3. Slides down in front of him. That's going to cause a stack up for Randy Yoakum. Did not get the run he wanted into the corner. He'll be under the clutches of Bryce Fody and the 97, who's also having a good run. Lehman, that is, making his way into the top 10. Out front, though, half a second lead for Jonathan Oates over Rankin and the 57 of Haver. Haver just had the fastest lap, so we'll have to see if he has anything to say about this. 16 laps to go at the stripe.
Yeah, Haver got a little bit tied off turn number 4, so that killed his run just a little bit. He got moved back towards Jacob Adams just a little bit there, but we'll see if he has anything for Scott Rankin. Scott Rankin about 0.6 of a second, 6.5 tenths to be exact, behind Jonathan Oates. And making those 2 tires work to good use right now. And I'd have to think that maybe he was tight. Maybe the balance of this car was tight. I would have to assume that being the ARCA car. So that loose condition that you typically get with two tires might be making that 73 even more comfortable for him. So we kind of hovering around 0.6 of a second right now. 15 laps to go. Looking pretty decent right now. But he's gonna have to hold on. We have a battle for third. Haver and Adams going at it now. Adams tried on the bottom.
2 cars that were in that last accident, obviously. None of them getting as much damage as the 09 of Nick Silver did, but definitely gonna have to watch it here if you're the 57. You've already got a tally on you tonight. You don't want to get a second one. You don't want to get parked by race control, especially not this late in the race. 13 to go for Oates. Really surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised because I think we both know through our many runs on iRacing that if you take 2 tires, sometimes it'll free that car up, and if you're struggling tight, it will absolutely make that thing work wonders. And right now he's painting this kind of diamond line with the bottom of the racetrack on entry, going up just a little bit, maybe about half a lane, and then cutting it back down to the apron, and it's working right now. The Mystery Machine maybe catching just a little bit, but I'd have to see if it's going to be enough. With 11 laps to go this time by, see Jonathan driving for Skyline Boulevard Motorsports.
Yeah, looking really good right now. Lead down about half a second, but still plenty lead here at Dover with about 11 laps to go. Next time will be 10 to go, but quickly have gotten down to the end of this race. Didn't seem like we were ever going to get there earlier on, Ty. It sounded kind of, it's going to be one of those like midnight type races here, but we've had some green flag running, and when we've actually seen it, it's been pretty good racing. So got Bryce Fody here in the 6th position. Jaden Racimus up to 5th. He's had a pretty... We talked about him having a quiet night, never really elaborated on it. He's... I believe he started way near the back, about not that far near the back, about P18, and just kind of didn't really have the outright speed. I think has been helped with the attrition quite a bit, but sometimes being clean and not getting yourself involved with something is better than just being the outright fastest car. So looking at the retirement list here tonight, looking about half of the cars that have started the race being retired. That's no more true than tonight. You see Frank Cody going another lap down in the 41. He's already 5 laps down. And tons and tons of damage. Sam Boutwell in the wall there. Connor Thompson having to make an evasive move there off turn number 4.
Ooh, Rankin's getting closer.
Yeah, he's caught. Jonathan Oates, we have a battle for the lead brewing.
He just caught the wall just a little bit out of turn 2. 7 laps to go at the stripe. I'm sure Oates is feeling the pressure. We're right on board with the Mystery Machine here. Watch what he's able to do in the corner. I think those 2 tires are starting to wear out compared to the 4. Rankin able to hold the bottom of the racetrack while Oates is having to kind of take that high arc. It helps Oates off the corner, but he's losing a little bit of time on entry. You see once again Rankin to the bottom of the racetrack, Oates a little bit higher. Rankin's able to close in. He's going to catch dirty air here, so that's going to make his drive off a little bit worse. But right now, I would have to say advantage 49. Maybe if he can change his lane up. If Oates is going to kind of hold that bottom, Rankin might have to move up the racetrack. It'll help him off the corner. It'll give him a huge run, and it'll free him up center of the corner, not being in that dirty air. But he's got to make it work, and he's got to make it work fast.
Yeah, I know. Kind of right here we see... Oh, we got a yellow. Something happened to Dave Huckleberry, and he is not happy right now.
Right in front of that thing is killed.
Like it might be the 55 Aid Morris. Sure is.
Well, we were moving over, but there might have been net code. It's hard to tell. I'm going to be honest with you. It's... Get a look at it here. There's not much room given. Well, gonna have an interesting restart here.
Yeah,
Looking-
hearing over the radio two sides of that coin there. Jonathan Oates saying that he didn't like that, or he kind of liked that caution because he felt like the 49 was tracking him down, and Scott Rankin in the 49 felt like he was tracking the 73 down, so didn't want that caution.
Well,
So,
I think there's a couple ways this might work, right? Obviously, if you're the 73, you know that you're in for a world of hurt if this goes green and we get that restart and it works out. But also, if you're the 49 and if you can time this restart, you've got him. He is yours. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm curious to see what lane Jonathan takes. If he takes the top, I think it would be better for him. If he takes the bottom, I think the advantage would then go to Scott, because if Scott's able to get that restart, he's able to hold it around the outside, and there's nothing that Jonathan Oates is going to be able to do to defend that. So, but then again, this is the Dev Series, so this is going to be also a learning moment for these guys, I'm sure, as far as what lane they choose and if they can make it work. It's going to be pretty interesting.
race control putting the tally on the 52 there. Jonathan Oates going to take the outside line here on the restart, and we are, of course, 1 to green, so yep, we're hearing that Scott wanted the inside here, so this will be an interesting restart. I'm excited.
You like, this is kind of the best world for both of them at the same time. You know, I talked about if Jonathan took the bottom, Scott would be better off, but Oates is on the top. We know that he hasn't been great on the bottom of the racetrack. If he's able to get the momentum and get clear, that's fine, but Scott Rankin is able to get the bottom of the racetrack to work. So this is kind of best of both worlds. We should have a pretty even fight here. We're going to have a 2 to green. It's going to be a natural green-white checker. If we do not make it back to the white flag, a yellow will be displayed, and we will go again. And I believe we have 3 attempts at a green-white checker if we need it. But hopefully we don't. We're able to do this naturally and ended on lap 125. We shall see. Jonathan Oates is your leader. He's on the top side. Rankin bottom. He is second. Dylan Haver third. Jacob Adams fourth. Fifth, Bryce Fody. Sixth is Jaden Racimus. Flip those last 2. That's your top 6. Into the Echo Park restart zone. Oates with a good jump. Rankin able to not really get the greatest jump, but he's still in fighting distance. Jacob Adams not able to get going. Everybody maintains behind them. Oates to the top. Rankin to the bottom. Oates is going to cut down. That's going to give him a run. Will they make it back to the white flag through 3? Oates is going to hold that middle groove. Rankin to the bottom. White flag in the air this time by. Jonathan Oates will get there. Is Rankin going to have anything to say about it? Oates to the middle groove. Here comes Rankin.
Oh, he's going to have one more shot going into turn 3 here.
Rankin's going to try the bottom. Oates is going to cover it off. Good exit for Oates. And out of turn 4, Oates is going to win the Dover 125. Rankin second. Adams third. Fody fourth. Haver fifth. Racimus sixth. Good fight. We've got chatter on the radio that doesn't have to be there. Got a little good game bump there from Rankin to Oates. Good finish there for those guys. I'm sure they would have rather it gone green, but nonetheless, we see how that goes. Jonathan Oates getting some good game bumps.
Well, that was certainly one of the races that we've had in this series, and there is your podium. Jonathan Oates coming home with his first win in the series. First win in the series. I believe in his first start as well.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about these guys showing up, showing out. What a way to do it, win that first race, despite the fact that it might not have been a great race for everybody else. You did what you could, and you had to, so... we will let them celebrate and get sorted out. And when we come back, we will have your top 3 for interviews.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing liners of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
The 5th annual Enjoy Illinois 300 is roaring into Worldwide Technology Raceway on Sunday, September 13th, bringing NASCAR Cup Series racing to the most challenging track on tour. Watch the world's greatest drivers battle it out in high-speed, side-by-side action. But it's more than a race, it's a full weekend experience. Whether you're a lifelong NASCAR fan or just looking for an unforgettable gateway getaway, get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
Back here at the Dover Motor Speedway, and our top 3 are ready to go, and I believe Cam is going to be standing by with Mr. Jacob Adams.
Yep, I got him right here. Jacob, this is Cam in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, well, interesting race for you. Up and down through the field, and you had some side-by-side battle in there with Dylan and Nick Silver, new driver of the series. Some contact there off turn number 2 that unfortunately for Silver kind of ended his race, but for you it kept on going. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, well, it's kind of just how the ARCA series usually goes for me. I had 30 seconds of damage from the drop of the green flag, and first caution, felt like I probably needed to go and fix that just in case the car overheated or anything like that. So had to come from the back and got caught up in that second accident, so had to repair more damage and passed a lot of cars. There was a lot of fun side-by-side racing. You mentioned there with Dylan and Nick that I feel like we were racing really good right there and giving each other room, and then I think Dylan might have just clipped the wall and got down into me, and I don't know how I saved that once I got hooked up into Nick, but it's kind of a tough deal for Nick, but got the top 3, so keep gathering the points to go on the rest of the season.
Yeah, and one of the things we saw kind of all night was the outside line, really, really strong, and that if you kind of made an inside move and weren't able to complete the pass, you would almost immediately get passed around the outside. Is that kind of what you felt tonight?
Yeah, I actually told my teammate in Discord about 20 minutes ago that it felt like a super speedway race where you had to fight for the top, and if you went to the bottom, you better have been sure you were going to make the pass. So I lost third on, I think, the second to last run to Dylan when I thought I could have won the race when I was behind, I think it was Jonathan and Nick. And I gave up the top, and Dylan went by me, and it did really feel like that.
Well, we got a week off, and then we are heading to Rudskogen, which I have no clue how that's gonna go. But how are you looking forward to that one?
No, that basically means I'll have 2 weeks off. I'll enjoy the actual week off, and then I'll somewhat enjoy running in the back at Rudskogen. I'll learn the track as I go. Not a road racer over here, so definitely not looking forward to that one. But got to be there for the points and see what I can get out of that track with. I don't know. Maybe I'll call up SVG and see if he can't run for me.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be one of those tracks that if you kind of just keep it on the asphalt, you'll probably get like a top 10. That's it's like a go-kart track, so it'll be interesting. But before we let you go, any sponsor shout outs?
Yeah, I just got to shout out my teammates at Shift. I was racing with Connor tonight, teammate over here in Arca, and then just a shout out to all the guys on the Grand National side. Looking forward to get back going in that series in 3 or 4 weeks. Juicy Spider, everything that they do to put the logos on the car and keep stacking up the top fives for them, getting a lot of TV time, passing a lot of cars. Thanks to you guys for doing this. It's always fun going back and watching them. I'd watch all of them. You guys do great work up here. And then Chad for putting the league on, giving us all a good place to race.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, Jacob. Good run out there in third, and well, we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, see you guys again probably in about 3 or 4 weeks.
All right. It's Jacob Adams, and believe we have a first timer in the booth here with Ty and Scott. Let's get him down here.
Scott, buddy, it's Ty in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Well, I believe this is your first start here. And man, what a race for you. We talked about how you qualified top 5, qualified 5th, and kind of managed the attrition where everybody else was having struggles. You kind of had an up and down night, but you bring in the mystery machine home P2. So walk us through your first ARCA start, man.
Well, man, first and foremost, it goes out to that paint, right? The Mystery Machine crew. We can't get it all done at the front end of the episode because then we got to fill another 20 minutes. So we had to play that one slowly, start to figure out all the clues, and then put the puzzle together and go after our villain, Jonathan Oates, there at the end. But no, look, I'm just out here. I actually really, really like this car and was been looking for a lot of opportunities to do it. I was just saying to John, I've got a work meeting here starting in 2 minutes because it's 11 a.m. over here in Australia at the moment. But yeah, good night. Getting an EOL penalty for obviously the windshield bender, hand on heart. That's my bad. I should have fixed that. I should have done that. But it also gives you an opportunity to go to the back at a really, really tough track and drive around a bunch of different guys. And I think one of the biggest things, particularly when you're starting a league and a series like this, is I know the quality's there and I've got to earn the respect of the guys that I'm out there and sharing the racetrack with. And tonight gave me a great opportunity to do that, great opportunity to work on looking after the tires. And I was just saying to John, I think this is like the 4th time I've driven the ARCA car. So building speed, and that felt funky tonight. It legitimately felt like we're getting a lot of noise from bits and pieces around the car. I think we're on the ground in quite a lot of areas of the track, and that creates an interesting platform to drive. And you got to tackle that with a different approach, and it's what we had to do tonight. And that's why we're P2. We did not have that race all by our own, and had to figure stuff out and go after it, and I'm really happy with the way for an opening night in a car that I'm not used to, and the way that we're going about things. Very happy.
I would have to absolutely agree. I think you earned a lot of respect, not only from the guys on the track, but everybody watching. You were clean, especially racing with Jonathan there. Like he left the door open for you for sure, and you didn't try to get it in any other way, but just passed him clean. So I admire that, and I think you also talked about just getting used to these guys in the dev series. That's one of the big things, not only just in every league, but the dev series especially. So for sure. But before we let you get out of here and do that work meeting, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
So I'm in a really, really interesting position whereby I actually drive for one team on the road course side of things and one team on the ovals. So I'll start by shouting out the guys that are on the car. Logitech G, Orbit Drop Bear. It's really, really cool to have Logitech come on, be a sponsor this year and support the team. And I know what it's brought to the team. It's brought this real energy and hum around the guys. But I also want to shout out my oval boys, Vortex. I was actually just chatting to John Oates. He's also driven with one of my teammates and Tyler Williams quite a lot, and a lot of respect exchange there. So a big shout out to everyone from the team, everyone that's come along and watched as well. You guys up here in the booth, but Maddington and Canning Vale Toyotas out in Perth, big sponsors for us. Really happy to have them on board the car. Pete Racing Products, Graham Electrical Data, Ray White McLean, McLean and Yamba Veterinary, Slipstream Signs, SFE Loans, Team Conti, Vermilion Esports, Pace Graphics, and Casey Simmons Cinematography. Thank you very much, and all the guys out there sharing the racetrack with tonight. Thank you for a lot of the respect, and yeah, I had fun. I had a lot of fun at a track that can be frustration inducing at times. So.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we get to talk to you next time, and you get to unmask that villain next time. Hopefully we can get to see you do that.
Are you telling me it was Gavin Higgins in race control the whole time?
It might have been. It might have been. That was Scott Rankins. Have a good one, buddy. That was your P2 finisher, Scott Rankin, and I believe Cam was going to be standing by with Mr. Jonathan Oates.
Yep, I got him here. Jonathan, this is Cam in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Cam. Yeah, I got you.
Well, Scott just gave an interview. He was talking about chasing you down and unmasking the villain that was in the 73, but you led the most laps out here tonight.
What?
Yes, sir. He said villain.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
He was, he was playing up the mystery machine thing there, but no, great interview. Led the most laps out here tonight. Didn't start first, but you finished in the most important spot. Take us through your first start here in this series.
Signed up a few weeks ago, just looking for a new league to get into. Had to start in the ARCA series, and there's no entry fee, so here I am. It was a fun race. The car drove really, really tight the whole night, so that was kind of something I had to manage. Mostly I just wanted to stay out front once I got it. There's so much dirty air with this car and all the downforce it makes that I figured, any tire disadvantage wasn't going to be it was worth it to stay in the lead. So that was kind of my strategy the whole night. It worked out. Had to do a little bit of mirror driving, but in the end we got there and got the win. So pretty happy about it.
And we saw you take 2 tires there on that last pit stop. And a lot of the times in iRacing, that kind of tends to loosen up the car. We heard you say you were tight just now. That make the thing drive better for you, or
no, it got tighter. I was hoping it would get looser actually, which is because I figured I'll take 2. Stay in the lead, and hopefully it'll get the car a little bit looser. And I took 2, and I stayed in the lead, but it did not get looser at all. It actually got a lot tighter. So, it was kind of a constant struggle, but I think it was worth it to keep the clean air. I think that if I had been on 4, I probably would have driven away from the field a little bit more on that last run, but had to give you guys a show, I guess. So, I don't know. If I could go back and do it differently, I think I'd take 4. I just figured more people would try and get some track position there.
Yes, there's enough something you would think, and that is interesting to hear because usually taking 2 will just make you lose. So who knows? But
I don't think I got loose one time all night, but that's okay.
Shit. Well, 2 weeks down the road, we go to Redskogen, which will be an interesting one. Are we going to see you back at that one? And if so, how are you looking forward to it?
We'll see. I'm not really sure what my schedule is going to look like in the upcoming weeks here, but if I can, I'll be back. I like Redskogen. It's a pretty fun track, and I like road racing, so hopefully we'll be back. I don't think I'll win. I'm not the best road racer, but it's fun, and hopefully I can come back and give you guys a show.
All right. Well, that would be awesome. Before I let you go, any sponsor shout-outs?
Well, I have to give a shout out to Elite Racing for giving me a bright green car to run. I had a paint scheme planned for this race, but for some reason on trading paints, it just it didn't load right. Like it just loaded in as an all black car, so I had to put the emergency paint on and look like a highlighter all race. Which, you know what? I guess that's my punishment for not getting my paint scheme tested before the race. So shout out to them for giving me this lovely backup car to run, and shout out to you guys for the broadcast.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking some time to talk to us tonight. First start in the series, first win, and well, we hope to see you back in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
All right, Jonathan Oates, your race winner tonight, and Ty. It was a messy one at the beginning, but we got it cleaned up at the end, and it's awesome. Good racing out there tonight.
Absolutely, and talking to Jonathan and Scott, who obviously we haven't spoken to before. This is both of their first starts here in Elite, and just, man, I feel like something that it's not necessarily something that we don't have, but like new personalities and a new just new guys jumping into the scene. And man, I mean, Scott instantly coming in here and just throwing his personality out there. That's what we love to see from this dev series, and that's why I think we have such a unique opportunity to be able to talk to these guys who are just now getting their foot into the Elite scene and just now getting their name out there. And it's really fun to get to have conversations like that, and just an absolute blast. And man, what a show, for the guys that obviously didn't have a great night. It was a little bit rough at the start, and I think we cleaned it up at the end there in that last quarter of the race. But ultimately, I think Jaden Racine has proved again, even on the quiet night, just working through adversity and keeping the car clean. He was able to get a top 6, so I would imagine he's probably the points leader. Jacob Adams also had a good run, and then the two stories, Jonathan Oates, Scott Rankin, 2 guys that are going to be here for a while.
Yeah, certainly enough. Both of them, I would say, are going to be around here, and both of them pretty big personalities, it seems like. So, that's what the series is about.
And I believe that is going to do it for us tonight. Obviously, you've kind of seen the rest of the grid flipping through your screen. Obviously, your hard chargers, Connor Thompson, Gardner, most laps led, Jonathan Oates. Fastest lap, Dylan Haver. Pole position was Bryce Fody. 8 cautions for 23 total laps. 4 lead changes, 6 different leaders. Those are green flag lead changes. Okay. And that is going to do it for us tonight. On behalf of myself, Cameron Rich, Gavin Higgins, Carlos Acosta on the controls, we will see you in 2 weeks at Rudskogen. Until then, stay safe. Have a good night. Tell somebody you love them. Have a good night, guys.